Hello and welcome back to Roger Rabbit Commentaries playthrough of Control. And in this part, we're doing less talk and more walk.
But the executive level restroom has been missing for weeks now. How do you lose an entire fucking bathroom, Mr. Cloud?
Because this is the fun house in which the fun house is located. You see, they have lost place of the crapper. And when you lose the crapper, it doesn't help that you have a clapper, or a slapper, or even a finger snapper. You better bring in your best paranormal investigators in order to determine which control object of power needs to be cleansed of its evil in order to restore the bathroom to its rightful place.
So you're not going to look up what the house memory actually does?
Well, house memory is a component that allows you to create personal mods.
Okay.
Either personal mods or weapon mods, and these things can be combined into their these things can be made into mods at control points. Stupid floating puppets.
So how long is Pascal going to attempt to exterminate all the innocent bystanders?
Well, I mean, I do it more often early in the playthrough than late. See, because I thought it was, you know, I thought it was an absolute gas. Like, wow, I could just do this anytime I feel like, and then I realized, oh, I can do this anytime I feel like.
Okay, you see, that person was technically had an enemy health bar, so I'm not really supposed to, bitch you for that. But he was also, having problems with staying alive himself, so you should have probably waited for him to fully turn.
The idea is don't give these guys a chance and stay in constant motion. Use your sprint button, your left trigger joystick, push and toggle.
Unrefined reading.
More materials. More reading materials. No, it's not. Past Cloud, it's undefined reading is a material. It's not a thing you can read. Oh, let's check out the personal mods real quick. Okay. Would you like to equip a health recovery power-up?
Not really.
Health recovery per element by 20%. The elements that it refers to... Oh, I took it apart. Okay. No, I equipped it. Yay! So now I have a personal mod equipped.
Correspondence travel costs.
Very expensive. Very, very expensive.
Spent $300 on the minibar. How do you spend $700 on meals?
How do you spend more on meals and food than you do on liquor? That is what I'm wondering.
Like, you seriously spent twice as much on meals as you did on the minibar. Now, honestly, that's how I would do it, but I wouldn't have spent $700 on fucking meals.
The boys in research said performing rituals may help identify any places of power. Drinking those little whiskeys, well, that's my forte right there.
Yeah. Personal rituals I don't think actually count, though, is the thing.
The objects of power, the hiss, the all this supernatural shit, eventually is revealed to be cord in humanity itself. It responds to it. It reacts to it. The Hiss have displayed no aggressive behavior. They only seem interested in vocalizing the strange incantation ad infinitum. Perhaps these vessels are only meant to propagate the Hiss corruption, like spores or Wi-Fi boosters. Or even magnets, except magnets are not very effective at a distance. They could also be cocoons. Cocoons of magnets, yes.
Cocoons of magnets, you say?
A helmet of cell phones.
How negative would that actually affect your mental state, Mr. Cloud, to be cocooned in magnets?
Not very much. Because humans are resistant to magnetism. Haha. Or as Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla, had decried foul when people keep complaining that cell phones cause cancer. No, beta waves and the degradation of particles and the emission of gamma radiation causes cancer. that you could wear a helmet made of cell phones and even ride a bicycle with it, and at worst you will have a funny picture of yourself become a meme on the internet.
Until you turn those cell phones on, of course.
You don't want me anywhere near it. With me on that.
You see, that's how batteries work, Mr. Cloud. Batteries give off slight amounts of radiation while in use.
Lies.
Really?
It's an electromagnetic field. There's a difference. Just like, I mean, human bodies emit electromagnetic fields. But
yes.
we are not radioactive.
Well, we are actually. Just, to a degree that is usually imperceptible.
Well, that all things in the universe are degrading, and particles are constantly breaking down into smaller particles. But the difference is that radiation is a more violent form of particle decomposition.
Well, if you want to test the prowess of human radiation, all you need to do is go outside. Go outside. Well, not outside, but you can do a homeward experiment with humanoid radiation with ice cubes.
Cool. Human ice cube experiment. Yes, the sun. The sun is one of the most common forms of radiation exposure. Solar rays. That normally are supposed to be blocked by the ozone layer, but because of humans...
Dead letters.
The dead letters. We are under attack.
Well, no, we were just fine, and then you decided to start the combat encounter early by attacking some of the Hiss receptors.
Uh-oh. Grenade. Ah, yes. The Alan Wake smoke grenade throwers are back. They are not as heavily padded as they used to be. Well, actually, no. I should withdraw that statement. That actually the fat boys with the thick suits, juggernaut-looking motherfuckers, yeah, those are the very common projectile throwers that we will see a lot later in the game. They're heavily armored. They can punch at short range. Short range is, I mean, okay, if you worked on your short range, you got your melee up to snuff, that you can actually, put up a fight and deal damage faster than they can deal damage back, then yeah, I would totally try doing short range, especially in combination with some of the other power-ups you get that can protect you at short range. Let's read some more. I love reading.
Does an inactive structure made of Hiss resonance qualify as a conscious beating? Probably not. Does the distinction make any difference when considering the Hiss? Not really. What does the very act of building walls to prevent our movement tell us about the Hiss? That they want you to stay away from them. To what degree is it watching and planning? A slight amount.
Refer to blank file for the full report. They wanted to put in a more literal explanation as to why the game is preventing access.
It's the Devil May Cry wall, okay? We understand that.
Of course, as we come to find out, just because the map is damaging you does not necessarily mean it's inaccessible, because later in the playthrough, I access things that are normally not supposed to be accessed because of the damage barrier.
I had to use the dialing plate on God.
God can't move yet, but the dream said he would learn how on his own. This is just a beginner's body, like a baby's, but it's a machine. It doesn't really cry. Instead, it kind of makes a ticking sound and then occasionally beeps like an alarm clock.
So, is he attempting to make the King of Worms?
Well, he's attempting to get over his feelings of inadequacy.
Past Cloud, you don't need to kill the floating Hiss resonators.
But what if he dropped to the ground and suddenly became an anemone?
Then he wouldn't have been a Hiss resonator, now would he? More house memories.
I'm glad that the file actually will tell you that the Hiss resonators, the people who are just floating around and repeating the incantation, are just they are just there to do just that. They don't really serve any purpose, and as we've come to find out, they are mostly just there to add more flavor to the game, give you something to shoot at, and make you feel like, yes, if you work real hard, you study, and then you put your pencil to the paper, you can nail that accuracy test.
Not that it matters that much.
Uh-oh, that guy has a shield. You should watch out for enemies that have shields, because they have the bungee shield.
You didn't go pick over the other house memory. You started to go over there, then you got interrupted by combat. Now there's yet more combat to do.
Ooh.
Weapon armor damage. Makes it so that you deal more damage against shields.
Armor. Well, armored opponents. Actually, now that you mention it, I don't know if I ever drew a distinction between armor and shield. It is possible that maybe the shield, the armor they're referring to is the shield bar. The weapon armor mods usually are pretty powerful, whereas ordinary damage mods will give you a boost of, well, I mean, at this level, maybe like 15 or 17+%. Weapon armor mods, you could see bonuses.
Still pretty significant, just not right now.
It is. Well, I mean, they get better. And they accumulate as you add more personal mods, but unfortunately, because we haven't upgraded...
You get multiple instances of 17% and they stack?
Well, you can't use multiple personal mods right now because you
sure,
cannot
but like
get...
later on, that's easily double damage.
Yep, and that's what I eventually do later in the playthrough, is I start stacking my mods. It works. Oh, it works
Ooh, a
well.
fast travel point. Yay!
So now we can fast travel back to the Central Executive.
But we still need to be in here for the upcoming boss fight.
Yeah. This game does the Dark Souls thing. I kind of like that it does the Dark Souls thing.
Fast travel is not a Dark Souls thing, dude.
Yes, it is.
Fast travel is in Dark Souls, but Dark Souls does it pretty fucking terribly.
Well, Dark Souls 3.
Okay, yeah, fine. I don't honestly know all that much about Dark Souls 3, but I know it improves a lot on Dark Souls 1 system, so...
Dark Souls 3 lets you fast travel as early as killing the first boss.
Okay.
Gunda. Uh-oh. But, hey, don't throw stuff at him. Who did that?
Object of power. Except the hiss of last strike.
Uh-oh. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Now, Mr. Object of Power, we are here to subdue you. Stop throwing canisters of fear at us.
It's a poltergeist. They say that
so
the
what you
darkness...
need to do is vault over the railing and dash over to the left side.
Wait for the interval. Okay, now. I mean...
Go!
Okay, go.
Pass Cloud!
We're learning.
Pass Cloud is not very active when it comes to learning the right things.
Jesus Christ, mother... son of a bitch. Practical Joker, you. You think this is funny?
Nah.
Yes, I see that the pneumatics department has a number of canisters.
And you can't vault up there, past Cloud. You're going to have to go up the stairs.
These canisters normally contain messages like memos and work notes. Instead, these canisters contain only one message. Die.
I'ma smack you. You can't make that jump. Looks like you got to go over to the scaffolding area.
You know, it's moments like these that I actually kind of miss the Night Springs narrator. A pneumatic tube, normally used in order to modify your banking account, instead serves only one purpose: darkness.
Go.
Okay. Cleanse you!
Oh, it's a... What is that, 3x8 technically?
Heh. It's a nuclear missile code diskette.
Launch telekinesis. Cool.
It's harder to
Don't you swear at me, Board. I heard that bleep.
The channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in Bureau Seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
Well, that's not what the gun strapped to your waist is saying, Miss Jessie.
My God, I have a uniform. I have a name tag. I think I work at McDonald's.
No.
Woohoo!
So yeah, we got a telekinetic missile now.
We have, in the next part, gained a new power, which we will explore in magical exploration land.